Welcome to KSL Sports Rewind, interview of the week, brought to you by Utah Facial Plastics Hair Restoration. Go to utahhairmd.com, get a free consultation, and get set up. Look, just because you're losing it doesn't have to stay that way. Got some of the best doctors in the country right here in Utah. Hair Restoration, brought to you by UFP. And a lot of fun. Your game of the week right here with Morgan, and always love doing these interviews.
Yeah, an opportunity for us to get to know the players, kind of see underneath the helmet a little bit, learn about some of the culture of the coaching staff and the kids. And we had a great energy Friday night, great team in Morgan, and a chance for us to catch up.
All right, here, Gunnar Lish, Jared Ball, and Gavin Turner. Hey, guys, well, first, Gunnar, we'll start with you. How often do you get called Ryder?
It happens a lot. My brother just being like 2 years older than me, and I feel like that's what a lot of people know me as. Even Barlow over here has called me Ryder before.
Well, when he was a quarterback, it just kind of works, right? But now it's about the gaming. When you guys bring in Grantsville, and you know they had the win over Provo, and in a classification of this, that means a lot, right? How geared up did that have you guys for Friday night? Did it add anything else to say, hey, we're going to show how good we are? Did that add to it?
Yeah, I think it added a lot to it, and a lot from last year, too. We just kind of wanted to get back at those guys, so I'd say we got it done.
Hey, Jared?
Yeah, it's just when we play bigger schools, it means a lot, and we were just preparing for that game. It meant a lot to us. So.
Yeah, I think we definitely thought about it, but we didn't think about it that much. Like, we weren't too worried about it. Like, yeah, it plays a little bit of a part, but we're just ready to go out and play some football.
The thing that maybe impressed me most last night, guys, when I think of Morgan, and you can, slap me upside the head after this, I usually think of finesse, speed. This is a physical bunch in the trenches. Gunnar, I think a couple times you were mowing guys over, and guys that aren't used to getting trucked. I mean, is there something different about this roster, the physicality of this group?
That's just what our defense is built upon. That's also where our offense is built upon. O-line, Barlow really likes to focus on just being physical, going out there and manhandling people. And then Gunnar, he had a game yesterday. He's nailing people. He's a physical runner. Then defense, they always bring it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's just something that they teach us at practice. Being physical against each other just prepares us for the game, and then we're just used to it. So.
Yeah, physicality is definitely a way we've been coached the past couple of years. And I think that's something also that Grantsville likes to hang their hat on, is being a real physical team. So it felt good to take it to those guys.
I mean, last year you guys lose the state championship game. As juniors, you're coming back. You get a group that's ready to kind of go. How much fuel, now obviously it doesn't give you everything, how much fuel does that give you coming into this year? Hey, you might have to face Grantsville twice. You got a little bit of the rebound from the state championship last year ago. How much does that kind of fuel you, though, keep going forward?
For us, that's pretty big, because that's a game through the offseason a lot of us were looking forward to, because we had that one circled since clear back in November when we lost. But after that one now, that's when you got to build on, and you can't just stay. We got to still keep climbing, and can't just get complacent after a big win like that.
Great environment here last night at home. I mean, both stands were packed. What was it like to play in that kind of an atmosphere where, just coming out, like you could just tell there was a great energy here. What was that like for you guys as players?
It was awesome. I mean, I think all three of us, that's the most people we've ever had at a game, and it was just amazing. It was loud, crazy. It was great.
Yeah, it was fun. We knew that there was going to be a lot of people here, and everyone showed up. The students showed up. It was just fun to be around that.
Yeah, the energy last night was crazy. And when the crowd is that into the game and we got music blaring and stuff, it's easy for us players to feed off that and just keep going. So it was good.
All right, so let's get a little different on this team. So if something happens on the bus or anything else, because you guys got long bus rides everywhere you go, who's usually the instigator? Who's the team clown? If something's happened on the bus, there's a prank, who's the one starting it?
I'd say it's got to be our kicker, Bo Johnson.
The kicker?
It's the kicker.
It's either Bo Johnson, Zach Sargent, probably that combo of those two.
Yep.
Yeah, Bo, Zach. I'd also add Nick in there. He likes to do some stuff, too.
All right, so one of the questions Dutch usually asks, but I'm going to steal it. If there's a coach is right here, we might ask him to turn around or plug his ears.
He can take it.
If there's a player who does the best impersonation of which coach on this coaching staff, and I'm hoping it's one of you three, because then we're going to ask for it if so.
I'm trying to think. Gunnar has pretty good impersonations, honestly. he does pretty good with Pretty much any coach you tell him to. He has a good Millward impersonation.
You got a Coach Barlow impersonation?
Not Barlow.
No, come on.
I not a Barlow.
No, all right. Which coach?
Joe Sisson, he's pretty easy
Oh,
to
let's see it.
impersonate. Well, yeah, I'll tell you a story actually about the other day. We were in the weight room, and one of our JV kids was taking a plate off the bar, and he accidentally dropped it on Sisson's foot. And then from the whole weight room just goes quiet. I was clear on the other side. I turn and I just see Sisson. Fuck! So yeah, that gave us a pretty good laugh, and Sisson has his moments like that a couple times a year, so
Only a couple.
only a couple.
All right, so we'll ask Coach Barlow this, but if there's a guy that gets everyone in trouble, you have to run. Who's the guy that's making you guys run?
Titan Willis.
Who is it?
Titan.
Anybody else?
Titan Willis, yeah, that's what I'd say. Occasionally Bo Johnson.
Titan Willis, after that incident in the weight room, Sisson blamed it on Titan, so now everyone says everything's Titan's fault. No matter what happens, it's Titan's fault. So.
Well, guys, congratulations on the win. You got plenty of work to do, but I know Dane enjoyed being here last night. But hey, congrats, and we look forward to watching you guys throughout the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Look, when you're a kid following a quarterback that wins a state championship, it's always tough. But you can tell the two guys who are here obviously are starters on this team, and leaders. But they look to Gunnar Lish to be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see the way he plays, and you see that leadership come through on the field. And we talked about it, and we saw it Friday night. The physicality he brings, I mean, he's not afraid to go up against anybody. And, I mean, he's going up against some really talented defenders.
Mortensen's a stud.
Mortensen is a stud, and Rayner as well, and just saying, pop, right? Like, you better bring it. And Gunnar Lish, you can kind of just see that leadership that he has. And, but to me, you talk about this defense for Morgan. One of the things that surprised me coming into this game, Morgan was the number one scoring defense. Grantsville was the number one scoring offense in this region. And the Morgan defense won that battle. And so you look at Jaron Bell, you look at Ty Wheeler, you look up front as well with Sean Moore. This Morgan defense flew around, created all sorts of havoc. And guys like Jaron Bell were big reasons why that defense had such success.
Jaron Ball plays a little bigger than maybe in the past. We kind of saw it with a couple guys, right?
Yeah.
But this is a lunch pail type of team, but it's because their coach is a lunch pail kind of guy. Coach Barlow he's in the share. Grew up in Clinton, went to Northridge, but graduated from Morgan, and he instills kind of that toughness into this program.
Yeah, he does a really great job of remaining focused. Kind of got that feel from pregame. You'll see what we mean.
Coach, how hard is it to go to sleep after an environment last night and such a big win for this program?
It took a while last night. It was a late night.
Some more milk.
Yeah, because you're at the game, you experience the game, and then you got to go home, you got to watch the game, and it was a fun one.
Coach, last year Grantsville beat you guys twice in region play and in the state championship. You were both undefeated coming into this one. How much pressure did you feel maybe the program felt? I mean, your rival team you guys have played the most over the duration of your program. How much pressure did you feel going into that contest?
I think a lot of the pressure is more external than internal. We just tried to focus on, that this is a game that we just need to make sure we're prepared for, ready to execute, and understand the importance of the game, but not necessarily that this is the game.
Now, Coach, you went to Morgan. You graduated from here. How fun is it to be the head coach of your alma mater, and not just be the head coach, but having success as the head coach of your alma mater?
It's a pretty fun deal. Just the connections that you have with the community, and being able to talk to your buddies and people you went to school with, and just being around the environment. I love the smaller communities. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to move here, and just to be a part of it. It's kind of a dream. It's good.
You talk about those smaller communities. What is something unique about this Morgan community that you've experienced in the course of your time here?
One of the things is just the connection that the community has with football. We got Little League games behind us. There's two teams in every age group that we have with Little League, and it's just the community that just loves football, and so to be part of that it's pretty awesome.
You guys, coaching staff normally doesn't get caught up in the comeuppance for getting revenge or anything else like that. But as a measuring stick, where you guys were, was that kind of what that feel last night? Hey, here's our measuring stick. How much stride have we made since November? How much work got put in? Is that how you looked at getting ready for Grantsville?
Yeah, I mean, definitely to be able to play a team like Grantsville, they're very well coached. They've got a lot of good athletes, good kids, and to be able to see where we were at from last year compared to this year, because they had quite a few of the same kids back, and just to see all the work that the kids were able to put in, and to see the execution that we had. We struggled offensively last year against them, and to see what we were able to do against them last night, it was good to see that all the work that they have put in, it's starting to pay off.
Talk about that, because those games last year, we mentioned it in the stream. I think in one game you scored 7, and the other you scored 10. You put up 38 last night in that win. What was different from your vantage point about last night's performance against that Grantsville team?
One of the things that I've been impressed with as far as Nick goes is Nick's done a lot better job of managing the game and understanding what the defense is doing, and then executing according to the game plan instead of going off script a little bit. So I think he's done a great job. The other thing is the offensive line has just come up huge. Being able to run the ball against a team like Grantsville is a big deal, and it's a good thing. And to see that part of the execution come about, it speaks volumes to the work that they've put in, and the film study, the weight room, just practice, everything that they've done.
Gunner had a great night last night, but when you need a little extra from him, do you say, hey, Ryder did it better?
No. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put two brothers against each other. That would be a bad deal. Their mom would get mad at me.
But he gets going. How important was it? You see him get things going as 14-13, you go down the field, he's making plays, being physical. How much does that bring to your team that kind of gets them fired up and going?
I think it's a statement to be able to do things like that. We talked earlier, Mortensen kid, from Grantsville, the MVP last year. Talking to Gunner earlier, this is, I think, our second play, and Mortensen came up to make the tackle, and Gunner put him on his back. That's a statement, and when you make statements like that, that's a big confidence boost. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Rocky cut Drago to kind of bring in our pre-conversation to that.
Yeah.
All right, here's some of the fun questions. If there is a kid on this team that the coaching staff leaves going, heaven love him, but man, he's making it rough on us today. Who's that kid?
Well, the kid, those guys aren't wrong. It's Bo Johnson. There's a lot. I have to shake my head.
Like, pray that he goes home to good parents. Kind of thing.
Well, he has good parents. I feel for him.
All right, then there's a coach on the staff. Do you kind of is the impression close when you got Coach Sisson? He's like, hey, he's kind of the fun guy around the guys. Is kind of going to be the good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
They're pretty spot on. Gunner went. He was kind of nice, with his impression. But yeah, he's kind of the guy that's easy to pick on just because he's so passionate.
Yeah. So it's senior night this week against Ogden. When you think of this senior class and what they've done, what is it do you feel is the hallmark of this group of kids?
One of the things that I think they do a really good job of is their leadership. Not just with the seniors, but the way that they incorporate the younger kids. Just making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Getting all the kids in the weight room during the summer, getting everybody early mornings going in the Century Center, all winter long. So I think they've done a great job of just building a culture of success.
Coach, what was the environment like from your perspective last night? Obviously, you have a great history here at Morgan, but where does last night's environment here rank?
I can't remember a time when we had more people at a game than what was here last night. There's blankets, reserving seats at 12 o'clock that day, and it's electric being able to be part of that and feel that and experience that. It's I played at Northridge for a few years. I never had something like that.
1-0 in the Blacks. Do we get to see him again?
We'll have to see. They told us we can have one, so it may be next year, but we'll see.
Hey, you earn one, you win. You should get two.
Yeah, come on.
Or three, or four. Coach, well, congratulations on the win last night. Certainly look forward to it, but you got a great ball club this year.
Thanks, appreciate it.
This guy, that even when we give him a chance, you can tell he has fun with his guys.
Yeah.
Dusty wanted to do something. He just wasn't going to completely go there, but he also felt like his guys understand what his team is as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it speaks to the culture, right? And a young man who played in this culture, so he understands the culture, he understands the pedigree, the history that is Morgan High football over the last however long. It's been a long time. Yeah. And you can see that continuing, and you can see the hunger that he instills. But even last night I asked him, hey, is this a rivalry game? He said no. Or is this a revenge game? He said no. It's a chance for us to learn where we made mistakes previously and to fix those. Yeah. And they did. I mean, they played so much differently. It's why we asked him that question, what was different about last night and this night, or last year and this year? And I loved his response. He just talked about the maturity of his program. And the thing that I love is even last night, Nick Despain, just take what you have, right? And Gavin Turner, we had a chance to talk to him, but a couple of receiving touchdowns on the night. And it wasn't, hey, we don't have to go out and have the 40, 50-yard touchdowns. We can methodically move down the field. We can build off the running game. We can incorporate the passing off of that. And they really just had this Grantsville defense just searching for anything because of how they were able to just navigate the offensive game plan. It wasn't a lot of arrogancy or pride or I got to have my moment. It was a unified effort really shown out last night on the field, and it's the big reason why Morgan came out with the win. Yeah, it'd be a much different deal when you get that win and get a feel for where they are, where they're going. It's not about revenge. You can tell Coach Barlow instills life lessons, football lessons, not movies. Not movies. That's okay. They're a hardworking group. There's not time for movies when you go hard at what you do, both on and off the field. But congratulations to Morgan. Thank you for the hospitality. Yes. I mean, we showed, if you haven't seen the video, the gift basket that Dane got. Bring him down at halftime. Right? Made his night. Or year. That hasn't happened in years, guys. Years. Absolutely great, but thank you to Morgan and welcoming us in. They got a great group that covers them all year long. Allow us to come in and be a part of that. Just thank you. Been absolutely great, but hopefully you got to enjoy learning a little bit more about Morgan. But again, it's our interview of the week brought to you by UFP Hair Restoration.